Those just pop in. We don't do anything.
I want to add this real quick, Dave.
Yeah.
You said you don't have a real feel on the Kings fans with De'Aaron Fox and why they're booing him.
I have.
You've
yeah.
got a great feel on the YouTube chat.
What's the
currently people cheering for De'Aaron Fox if they're going to the game? 63%. Boo, 37%.
We're right about the range.
Right about there. Well, our chat is unique, that's for sure. We were talking about
I want to recount
Fox legacy from the 916. Here's your Fox legacy. An overrated player who put up big meaningless numbers and bad times and then quit the second he had a decent roster because he was ready to go. He gets glazed by media members who are mad at the front office even though they gave him plenty of help at the end. That's from the 916. Let's see. What would be really cool is a moment of silence. No boos, no ovation, just silence.
I always thought that would be cool to do for like the opposing team taking a free throw for the entire arena to go silent, but everyone's standing up and going crazy.
Just gesticulating wildly. Yeah, doing the Verlod back and forth. Well, I obviously disagree with the previous texter. I think De'Aaron Fox's legacy is complicated, but I will go back to the video he cut. I want to say his second year here, where he talked about wanting to win a championship here. That Sacramento is known as a joke. We're not laughing, that type of thing. I appreciate always when a player is active in the community, and he was both charitably and very tangibly. We talk about Adam starting a taco truck and Banzitos and their relationship and putting him on his shoes and he and his wife going to Deuce and Mo's house to sit for an interview. And, he's a very simple guy. He played video games, stayed at home for the most part. You weren't hearing about De'Aaron in clubs.
Right.
Work ethic I appreciated, taking famously Luke Laux, Florida State's Luke Laux, on his honeymoon to work on his shooting, playing through injury. I guess I have a different view. I just have a different view. Look, I understand at the end, things get a little, Humpty Dumpty. I thought Sam brought up a really good point yesterday that needs to be resurfaced. And that is, when Tyrese Halliburton got traded, he did not want to go and wanted to be here. And nobody expected him. Nobody expected he would be traded. And he was traded. He had no choice in the matter. You get drafted and you are forced to go to the team that drafts you. Generally, the better the player you are, the worse team you're going to go to because of the way the draft works. You're forced to go there. You go there. You make the best of it. Maybe you re-sign. Maybe you don't. It takes a while to be able to control your own destiny. And Fox had that opportunity before and re-upped with the team. And then not only came to a conclusion through many things that we've litigated that it just wasn't going to work longer term here. He said, yeah, it's time to go. This is where I want to go. That he tried to. It is a little bit different for us as fans sometimes to look at players that want to control their destiny, and we get angry at that. Well, how he screwed us. He screwed us by telling us the only place he wanted to go. And by the way, the Sacramento Kings were not. There was no rule saying they couldn't trade him to anybody else. The argument, of course, which is perfectly logical, is that the market was sullied. But we've had players demand trades before to specific places. He didn't have a no trade clause. He could have been traded anywhere. The Kings could have waited till the summer. They could have waited till next trade deadline. They chose to trade him right now and to get the deal that they wanted to get. And I expect that part of the anger towards Fox is that a lot of fans are not satisfied with the deal we got back for him and blame him, not the front office, which I think is misplaced a bit. So people are going to there are people that are going to feel some sort of way about that. I've always, and Jason, I know, and I'll shut up here. I've always, cheered ex-players for the most part.
Yeah.
Unless it's egregious, unless it's a Hawes thing. I think one of the great traditions here in Sacramento is when an ex-player of note comes back, the ovation we give them. I think it helps give us the reputation as being some of the, if not the best fans in the NBA. And though Sacramento may lose a lot, though Sacramento isn't a cosmopolitan city to some, what you hear out of players all the time is that the fans here are what makes it. And so for that reason, I'll be cheering. But I understand there will be people that don't feel that way.
I think in the 40 years they've been here, and for me, this is my 31st season, I still think the biggest challenge for Kings fans, and you can tell me if you think of a different one, it's still heat of the Kings-Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And Vlad is now a Laker.
Yeah.
So he's loved, but he's on the Lakers.
Yeah.
He got cheered.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of we all love Vlade.
Right.
This is pre-GM and all that stuff. It's like, but he's on the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
He's with Kobe.
Yeah.
He's with Phil, like that group. And it's like, we can't cheer him, right? And he got cheered. And I went, well, I get it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like this question with De'Aaron, this is too fresh, too raw. Like, I mean, if people boo, they boo. Again, we're not gatekeeping. We can't control that.
Right.
I feel like his Sacramento Kings legacy question, do you think this question and answer, or the answer, is different in 4 years, in 8 years from now, when he's been through multiple times? Maybe he's retired by then, because I do think he's one of the great Sacramento Kings of all time. I think some people will see that tonight. There's plenty of people like, I don't care about that right now. He's not the greatest Sacramento King to me, or one of them.
No.
Because he's on the opponent. He broke up part of this season, whatever they think. I wonder if that question lands differently over time. Like a lot of things, time heals some wounds. And, Fox came back. Let's say Fox was like Chris Webber, who became in the broadcast entity, which I don't think De'Aaron would do. But if he came back and he was working on national games, I feel like Fox would get, welcome back like that and get love. But this is fresh. This is still, the wound is still fresh for some.
I think I'm the one of the group out of us three that is the most, I'm trying to think of the wording to use, that is the toughest on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was there as a fan, I don't think I'd boo. I think I'd cheer him. Like, he gave us everything for as long as he was here. And like, that just seems like a crappy thing to do.
And I can hear the argument against too. It's like, well, what did he give us? He gave us one play-in and one playoff series.
Well, what did Mitch Richmond give us?
That's exactly right. And by the way, when you were talking about Vlade, the one that
one
was
playoff and
yeah,
right.
He did get us an All-Star MVP, guys.
Well, there's that. Ron Artest was tough for me because he not only went to the Lakers but won a championship with them, and I was like, I'm really happy for Ron, but Lakers. And by the way, it's funny how it works out at the end, but not at the beginning. Vlade didn't want to come here.
Right.
People forget about that. Vlade wanted to sign with the Clippers, or he wanted to stay with the Lakers. Mm-hmm. Then he wanted to sign with the Clippers. Clippers were like, no, it's not working. He wanted to stay near his kids, and everything, his young kids down south. And then the Kings it was like geography. It was like, okay, Kings, Warriors, Suns. I want to be as close as I can. And hey, it worked out great. But we weren't his first choice, and that never got held against him. Chris Webber cried on the plane. And his dad had to tell him to shut up and go play basketball. And obviously he turned into one of the most, if not the most storied king of all time.
And ironically, wasn't one of the charms of Fox on draft. Like, he wanted to come here.
Yes. He wanted to come here.
Wait, why?
Yes.
Why does this guy want to come to Sacramento?
I will never forget. In fact, I got a video of it somewhere still of, I was at the watch party when he was drafted, and we were all just praying the Suns would take Josh Jackson. Mm-hmm. And then everyone knew. Sometimes you don't know. Everyone knew Fox was the pick. Just like I think a lot of us knew Doncic was the pick, weirdly enough. But they were excited about it being Fox. Very excited about it. And when his name was called, the place just went crazy. I don't know. I feel like breakups are always messy. I've never heard him say one bad thing about the fan base. In fact, even we have sound of it. We'll play a little bit later of him talking about how much love he has for the fan base, how much time he had here, and people are bitter with him. I don't have time for bitter people. Yeah, and again, people can do what they want. I hope I hear more cheers than boos, but hey, it is what it is. We'll take a break. When we come back, 3 for Madness, just a 1 minute break here. 3 for Madness, and we'll ask you a couple of Fox questions, also about the Kings themselves, the team we're rooting for here, and what do they have to do tonight against the San Antonio Spurs? We'll get to that next.
You never know what you might.